Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about division with the area model. We've talked a lot about division and we've talked about the area model, so these things should be familiar to you as we put them together. So with this, we have a 3-digit by 1-digit area model right here to help us with division. Our problem is 857 divided by 4. How we set this up is a little different than when we do our multiplication. For this one, we're actually going to be using the divisor over here, and the dividend will go here. So we're going to start with 857 here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our answer up here on top. This is where our answer is going to be. We're going to add all three of those together, and then we'll have our final quotient. So let's get started. The first thing we do is we divide 857 divided by 4. Well, we're going to split that up into hundreds, tens, and ones, which is why we have hundreds here in the first column. Then we have tens, then we have ones. So 857 divided by 4, the first thing we're going to do is look at that 800. How can we split 800s into 4 sections? We're trying to pull out 4 from these. So let's try to pull out 4 from 800. Down here, we have some friendly numbers that will help us to pull out that 4 and see how many 4s are in 800. Well, if we do 4 times 1, that's 4. That's really far away from 800. Let's try the tens. If we do 4 times 10, that's 40. That's very far away from 800. Let's go down to that hundreds. We're in the hundreds column, so we should be able to find something in the hundreds here that matches. So 100 times 4, that's 400. We're getting closer. However, I think if we multiplied it by this 200 here, we would actually get a closer number to 857 because 4 times 2 is 8. And so 4 times 200 is 800. That's what we're going to go ahead and write right here, 800. Okay, now we need to subtract that to see how many we have left to divide by 4. We already divided the 800 by 4. We're going to see how much we have left. So we have 57 here because we subtracted 857 minus 800, that's 57. Now up here in the top, we forgot to write, what did we multiply the 4 by to get 800? We multiplied it by our friendly number 200. So we're going to put the 200 up here. All right, we're ready to move into the tens column, people. Let's do this. We're going to bring this number 57 up that we have right there. Here's our 57. 57 is the next number we're going to divide by 4. So if we go back down to our friendly numbers, we need to multiply 4 by something to get close to 57. So 4 times 1, that's really far from 57. Let's go to the tens because we're in the tens column, so we should be able to find a friendly number here that will help us. 4 times 10 is 40. That's pretty close to 57. How about 4 times 20? That's 80, which is over 57. So we can't choose any numbers that are over. We have to go for under. We have 4 times 10, which is 40. So I'm going to go ahead and write 40 right there. And my 10 is what I multiplied 4 by to get that number. So I'm going to place my 10 up here. It's sort of like our area model. It's exactly the same, actually, in the fact that we have what we multiply by 4 up here. So 200 times 4, that's 800. 10 times 4, that's 40. All right, it's time for us to subtract. So 57 minus 40, well, 7 minus 0, that's 7. 5 minus 4, that's 1. So we have 17 left. Okay, people, time for us to do the ones column. I'm going to bring that number up. See my little arrow right there? That's to help you realize you're bringing that number up because that's what we have left. We already did 800, okay? We already tried to do 57. Now we have 17 left to divide by 4. All right, so how many times does 4 go into 17? Well, let's check. If we go down to our friendly numbers, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a number you know that you can multiply 4 by that's close to 17? You got it. It's 4, which gives us 16. So let's go over here and write 16. 4 times what is 16? That would be 4. So that's what we're putting up here. 4 times 4 is 16. And now it's time for us to do our last part of this problem, which is subtraction. 17 minus 6. That is 1. And why do we have a 1? That just means we have a remainder. We weren't able to actually do this number divided by 4 evenly. And actually, I can realize that just by looking at that number, because I know that 7 can't be divided by 4. So I know that that's not going to help. That's not going to work. So I know I'm going to have a remainder of some sort, even before I start this problem. All right, so our final answer is we need to now look here. 857 divided by 4 is what? Well, we need to add these three numbers on the top together. We have 200 plus 10 plus 4. 200 plus 10 plus 4 is 214. So that's what we write up on top, but we won't forget our remainder. We have 214 with a remainder, and we can put a little r there to remind us that we have a remainder. We can write out the whole word if we want to, but it's much easier just to have an R1. I hope this made sense. I hope that this clarified things for you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.